head off of the table, you remember?
That's right.
Angie was just...
I pulled out the sword and I whacked the statue head of Elvis off onto the table.
Well, that was Elvis getting onto you for taking that sword out and messing with it. Because you
That's
told
true.
him not to.
Life with Elvis, you'll never know how it's going to go.
Yeah. There's another photo I wanted to show that shows that side of Elvis that you never knew what was going to happen. A very famous, at the time, photographer, paparazzi, was named Ron Malello, and he was someone, he took shots of Jackie Onassis in New York and Marlon Brando. This is a famous series of photographs he took at a hotel, I'm sure, Dick, you probably know. And this is another one of those photos that you look at it and I start looking, you know, now that I know you guys, I always look and I see who's in the photo. So here's Jerry Schilling, and that looks like Joe right there, that's Red West, there's Dick, there's Vernon. And in Elvis's hand is a jar of Skippy peanut butter. And I asked Dick one time, what was in the jar of Skippy peanut butter? And he said, are you an idiot? Skippy peanut butter. I thought it was some kind, you know, I thought maybe it was one of those things you use that, you know, you put jewelry in it or something and it looks like it's just, Dick, you never knew what was going to happen. And was this the way it always was, leaving hotels, going into hotels with Elvis? The fans had a network that they knew what was happening.
Well, you're right. You never knew what Elvis was going to carry out, as you've seen bananas and other things. But peanut butter was one of those things that he loved. And we were in Denver, and we didn't stay at the Hilton. We stayed at the Marriott. And the Marriott ground their own peanuts to make peanut butter. And he had to make their peanut butter and banana fried sandwiches. He loved them. About a month later, we're in Memphis, and I get a call at 8 o'clock in the morning. Elvis ain't never up at 8 o'clock in the damn morning, never. And he says, get all the guys together at 10 o'clock here. I said, what? What for? He said, well, we're going to fly. I said, where are we going? He said, well, I can't tell you. I said, Elvis, somebody's got to tell the pilot where the hell we're flying. It'd really be good if we had enough gas to get there. And he said, well, I want to go to Denver. So I said, why? He said, oh, you'll find out later. You know, Elvis was always playing these little games with you, right, Sam? You never knew. So we finally get on the airplane and we're heading for Denver, and there's probably about 10 or 12 of us on board. And he says, I want some of those peanut butter and banana fried sandwiches from the Marriott Hotel. He said, we're flying from here to Denver in the Lisa Marie to get peanut butter sandwiches. He said, yeah, and he had somebody already make arrangements to make the call, you know, to get him. We set up to have the police department deliver it to us. And we landed in Denver, and the plane pulled off to an unused area. And here comes this police car, red light and siren, pulls up next to, we opened up the door, they threw the sandwiches up to us, and the red light and siren, they go off. You know? Well, we all sat down to eat the things, and I finally ate part of one, and I thought, this is the worst tasting damn thing I have ever tasted. So as we're heading back, Elvis says, you know, God, wasn't those good sandwiches? I said, Elvis, they suck. They're terrible. He said, no, but look at it. I said, Elvis, do you know what the hell this cost you? He said, well, no. I said, that's $13,000 in gas that we had burned up to go have peanut butter and banana sandwiches that you could have had made right here in the kitchen in Memphis.
And you know, those sandwiches were called Fool's Gold. And they were on French bread that long, and it was peanut butter, banana, and bacon. And they were horrible.
And it was in a loaf of bread. They would hollow a loaf of bread.
Yeah, hollow a loaf of bread. And I remember when somebody said what they were called was Fool's Gold, and that's about the time that Dick had told Elvis how much it cost him to fly there. And Elvis said, well, I guess they're named appropriately.
Charles, we're looking at these pictures of Elvis entering and leaving venues and getting ready to do concerts, and your job with, like you said, with Colonel Parker was to be at the venue and doing ticketing. Tell us about Elvis's relationship with his fans and with ticket pricing and what he did. That was kind of the beginning of the big rock shows in the 70s. Led Zeppelin and the Stones.
Right.
They were hitting the road, kind of reinventing what was going on in live performance.
Yeah, and when I did when I was Led Zeppelin in Chicago and those too, and we were getting $22.50 tickets for those. And one time, Tom Hewlett and I went to the Colonel and decided we want to try to raise the price of those tickets. So don't forget, we got 3 airplanes, 2 trucks. I mean, we had almost 100 people in the show. And the Colonel real quickly took his cigar. No, Elvis and I want everybody to be able to afford to see our show. So we were the cheapest ticket in town. The most expensive ticket was $15. And if you sat up in the back, it was $7.50. And they refused to raise the price. That's how much they love the fans.
For you guys, with Elvis, going to shows, being with him, and you being around him too, Charles, what was his mood? How did he feel before a show, before a concert? And what was his routine of getting ready for a show?
Well, let me say first in the venue, my responsibility was when these guys and Elvis hit, nobody, not even the venue manager, was allowed backstage. I mean, it was only the band and me and whoever, but nobody. So there was not anybody that he didn't know when he came in backstage. So it was just like presidential security.
It was tight. And that picture is Charlotte, North Carolina. And that's sort of either Dick and I, we would rotate one with the Colonel and one with Elvis because we'd go ahead for security. And that was our job, to stand at the curtain with a flashlight. And at a certain point, when the kettle drums were playing in Thus Vegas, Zarathustra, and when the lights would hit, and then we would open the curtain and Elvis would step in front of us. And of course, he would always joke with us. He wanted us to go out first in case there was a sniper out there. But we didn't think that was too funny, but you know that.
Yeah.
But that shows pretty much, that picture was made with a flash because it was dark backstage, which is why I have a flashlight. But Joe Esposito was pretty much always the guy that would take Elvis up the steps and make sure he knew which way to go and where the risers were and where the chords were and what to step over. But Elvis was nervous as a cat before every show. He didn't want a lot of people around. We didn't have a lot of riders. We didn't have green M&Ms and whiskey and wine in the room. We would go directly from the plane or the hotel right to the venue. And it'd be a small room, and all Elvis really wanted was a full-length mirror to see how he looked before he went on stage, and some Mountain Valley water. I think that's about it, wasn't it, Charlie? And that's it. And we would be back there in just a few minutes. We were back there in Rapid City probably longer than anything before the CBS special when he made the presentation with the little Indian girl. But usually just a few minutes, and then he would go right on stage, and he would get very introspective and try to get quiet and everything. But we would do some things with him, like the Indian pool, where we'd stand and try to like relieve the tension on him, because he was very nervous. But the moment he hit that stage, he became a different entity. He became Elvis Presley. And I've got some pictures that show that. This is a sequence picture of that shot. And there's another picture of him stepping out right in front of me and the beam on his face. You can see he's got his head down there. He's pensive. He's getting ready.
Yeah.
And the very next shot that was taken, I think Keith Alberson took those. But the next shot, it shows him walking out on that stage, and he's just exploding his personality. And that's what he did before every show.
And those kind of things, and there's another one with him kind of exploding onto stage. And it's like Dick has dropped him off there in the custody of the band, and now for the next hour he belongs to the fans. And then when that show's over, he goes back to be in the care of you guys.
Just look how he's leaping onto the stage there.
Yeah. These guys, old friends there, people that were in his circle. He had so many of these people around him, and it's one of those kind of things that as the years go on and we lose them, the stories of the lives of all of these guys are so important into making the guy in the white suit feel comfortable. He wanted to be surrounded by friends. He wanted to be there for the fans. And you bring up an interesting point sometimes that we had a feeling, even now, that Elvis was a prisoner. And he really wasn't. You guys said he got out and did things. And